You're watching Fox 10 Phoenix now.
A deadly crash in West Phoenix. We have live pictures at this hour.
35th Avenue in Buckeye. We're going to kind of zoom in past the police crime scene tape. Tell you what we know so far. Again, this is the second death in the last few hours on Valley roadways. You know, yesterday was really a deadly day, and this time around, from what we hear, a pedestrian was struck and killed. Can you see how smashed in the passenger side window or windshield is of that vehicle? Looks like the driver stopped immediately, stayed right on scene. But you can also see some of the debris over there in the roadway. Looks like some shoes and more. Buckeye now shut down in both directions between 35th and 39th Avenue. Hope to get you more info.
Yeah, it has been busy on our Valley roadways this morning. Normally busy street in the East Valley, now just reopening after a deadly crash in Mesa.
Yeah, we're talking about Ellsworth and Guadalupe, just off the 202. Mesa police telling Fox 10 the driver crashed into a wall just west of that busy intersection. That person was ejected from the car and died from their injuries. And that person was the only occupant in the vehicle. What caused the driver to hit the wall and then the vehicle separated, it looks like, by several dozen feet, still not known.
Also developing overnight, a shooting investigation taking place in Glendale. This is in a neighborhood near 61st and Olive. Police say when officers arrived, they saw several people fleeing the area, so running from the scene. 2 juvenile males with serious injuries were rushed to the hospital. At this time, we are waiting for some possible information from suspects and what may have led up to the violence. Now to a Fox 10 weather alert. Winter storms are rolling into our state, and right now it is impacting all of you who are watching and hanging there in the high country.
Yeah, in a dry winter, the snow is good news up in that area around Flagstaff especially. Now, Crystal's going to have a closer look how the storms are going to be progressing through the day, but we sent Daniela Miller up into the news vehicle, and she's arrived, you guys. Look at that.
Good morning. We have. Yes, good morning. So perfect timing, you guys, because it just started to pick up right now. We've been here for about 30 minutes or so in town, and nothing really, and then boom, here we are on live TV, and then it's performing for us right now. So very cold out here, as you can imagine, but as Crystal's been mentioning all morning, it's still a little too warm for things to start accumulating. But in these grassy areas, that's kind of where we're seeing that accumulation on the roadways. It is melting just as quick as it falls to the ground here. So you also can see the flag behind us there. You can see just how strong the winds are at this hour, and you can also see, you know, that snow falling, just kind of whipping in the wind there. So I would definitely say the wind speeds definitely a factor out here, but also want to mention, because of this weather, the Flagstaff Unified School District, they have canceled classes today for all classes here because of the inclement weather, just to keep everybody safe and at home. So just definitely keep an eye out for that and pay close attention to those school closures if you had those kiddos waking up this morning. So yes, we're here in Flagstaff. The snow is falling. It is starting to accumulate here in some of these grassy areas. So definitely some good news for folks out there in Flagstaff or in the high country out here, because as we know, things have been pretty dry. So hopefully we get some more snow out here and some rain in the valley.
On to this story here, attorney generals from across the country joining forces for a town hall to discuss the impacts of federal layoffs.
We're told it included like-minded attorneys general, along with Chris Mays, and AGs from other states like Oregon and New Mexico. Taking the town hall meeting, sharing stories about how the cuts are affecting them. Mays and other attorneys general have filed suits against the Trump administration. They want to listen to what former federal workers and their families have to say about enduring these job cuts.
I mean, I thought this was an incredibly powerful town hall, maybe the most powerful town hall I've ever attended, because I think what we saw was Arizonan after Arizonan come before us and talk to us about the pain and the suffering that they are enduring as a result of Donald Trump's illegal and unconstitutional actions. and the efforts of DOJ to slash our government without the consent of Congress and in a way that totally violates the separation of powers.
To date, DOJ's website says it's already saved taxpayers over $100 billion in government spending. That number, though, has not been independently verified. Last night's hearing is one of several that will be held in coming weeks. Well, at the Capitol, an Arizona state senator is resigning just months after being elected by the voters to her second term.
Yeah, interesting to hear from her here. Mesa Democrat Eva Birch citing partisanship and low legislative pay for her decision to step down. She says she's struggling to make ends meet right now and to find some balance in her work in the legislature and as a healthcare provider. Birch was first elected back in 2022. She made headlines last year when she revealed she was planning to get an abortion to end a non-viable pregnancy while speaking on the Senate floor.
All right, who's the great storyteller here on the morning show? None other than Tommy Fergus, live at the Hall of Fame. Tommy.
Yeah, Hooner, I know you love history, and Celeste does as well. If you're in town for spring training, this is a great place to be. I'm at the Hall of Fame. Before we get to the baseball, I want to show you a couple. This one was at the Chicago Fire. How about that, my friend? That thing was at the Chicago Fire. Showed up about 4 days after it started, put out some hot spots. But this is the one that kind of blows me away. They're celebrating 300 years. That thing's 300 years old. I think that's before Abraham Lincoln, if I'm not mistaken. But I've got Mark Moorhead here. He's the curator of education here at the museum. Mark, always great to see you.
We're glad to have you, Tom.
Yeah. How many pieces do you have in the museum?
We have more than 100 large wheeled pieces, and if you count the smaller pieces, the insurance fire marks and the helmets and all that stuff, it's thousands of pieces.
We're here to talk about baseball. A lot of these older pieces are fascinating, but baseballs and firefighters, there's a little story behind it all, more than I ever thought there was.
Very much so. There is a real case to be made that baseball, as we know it, modern baseball, was sort of invented by firefighters. And we have this exhibit that we're very proud of. And we're very, with Cactus League here, we hope, got people from all over the country coming in to cheer on their teams. We hope they'll take some time while they're here to come in and see our museum, but also specifically to learn something about Alexander Joy Cartwright. Who
now,
was,
Abner Doubleday might have something to say about this.
Yeah, actually, there's no evidence that he really ever saw a baseball game.
Abner Doubleday.
Ever, cared about baseball. And he never claimed he did. That was made up after he had passed on.
But
this guy, he definitely loved baseball. He was a New Yorker by the name of Alexander Joy Cartwright. He worked on Wall Street by day, but he was a volunteer firefighter with the Knickerbocker Fire Company in Manhattan.
How about that?
And he loved to play baseball with his buddies, his firefighter buddies, and they had leagues. And he is credited as the father of modern baseball. He, unlike Abner Doubleday, is in Cooperstown, even though Cooperstown was Abner Doubleday's hometown.
And he has come up with some amazing things. Like when you think about 9 people on a team.
9 people on a team was him. 90 feet between bases was him.
How do you figure
3
that
strikes.
out? 90 feet, because it's worked out perfect even to this day.
There were all these older versions of kind of stickball games, 3-old cat and barn ball and baseball with a hyphen and all that. He was the one that kind of standardized the rules, because prior to that, you just, however many people you had, you'd sort of agree how you were going to play before you played.
Yeah.
He was the one who set these up. And you can also make the claim that indirectly he invented the home run, because you used to get people out by what they called plugging. You would throw the ball and tag them with the ball.
Yeah.
He got rid of that, and that allowed for a smaller, harder ball, and that meant it carried farther. So you kind of indirectly say that he invented the home run.
He invented dingers. How about that?
Yeah.
You guys, if you get a chance to come to the Hall of Fame, stop by and check out this exhibit, learn more about it. But also, there's 35,000 square feet in this museum. You're going to see something that'll definitely make you think about the history of firefighting. And if you're a firefighter out in the valley and you haven't been here, shame on you. You got to get out here. It's really cool.
Back happening right now, the Phoenix Art Museum making art more accessible to the community.
We are talking about free, beautiful artwork. Good morning, Dominique. Also beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, you guys. Yeah, it's my first time here at the Phoenix Art Museum, believe it or not, but I'm definitely going to be back because there's so much to look at, including this piece behind me. If you've come here before and you're like, what is this? Yeah, brand new. It's been up just for 2 days now. So a new addition to the Phoenix Art Museum, always growing, always something exciting happening here. First, I want to bring in Jeremy this morning with the Phoenix Art Museum. For those who just have never been, just set the scene for us. How big is this place? How many pieces?
Sure. So Phoenix Art Museum is the signature institution of this Institution for Visual Arts that represents all different types of cultures. And today we're getting ready to unveil the piece behind us, which is Eman or Iran's Tomorrow's Monsoon, which is the latest installation and latest acquisition that we have here at Phoenix Art Museum. And it's really it's a tribute to Arizona. It's a tribute to this incredible LA-based artist who was born here in Arizona, and really just a love letter to this particular region, to this particular piece, which again is around monsoon. What a great day to have that. Specifically on a rare rainy day here, and just really changing the way that visitors enter the museum. They get entered and they see this magnificent painting behind us.
Yeah, absolutely. Keeping it local, I love it too. If you want to test your eyes, you guys, there's certain things to look for in this piece as well, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's all decoded, so you can come in and if you can find the snake or the hawk or even the raindrops or the sort of the monsoon coming down, it's a fun piece to explore.
Great. Before we get to art, I want to talk about the month of March. Some events going on as well. First Friday too, tomorrow, the first Friday of the month. What is the museum doing for that?
It's going to be a really special evening here at the museum. So from 5 to 8 p.m., the museum is free and open to the public. The whole museum is open. You can explore the entire space. We have an incredible lecture. We have a conversation between local muralists, including Giovanni and La Morena, two incredible muralists here, as well as a few others. There's a lot of activity. There's drinks, there's food, there's music, there's just drawing activities. So it'll be fun for the whole family.
Great. Okay, now we got to bring in Art. He looks amazing this morning. I said, I can't forget your name either at the Phoenix Art Museum. So fitting for that. Tell us a little bit about who you're with, the organization.
Sure, yeah. So with Men's Arts Council, and this is an organization that was established in 1967, so we've been around for a long time, and our entire purpose is to raise funds for this museum. So we were lucky enough to work with the museum, be able to underwrite this piece, and this is kind of our newest acquisition, newest project that we get to work with, but we also have other events that we do with the museum. On March 23rd, we sponsor the Family Fun Day. Museum is open, free admission to all families. We'll have programming ordered around Women's History Month, so definitely March 23rd, bring your family in. And then on April 6th, we have the Copper State 1000, which is a classic car rally that we sponsor that goes around the state of Arizona. And on April 6th, it's a place to bring your family at Tempe Diablo Stadium to see all these awesome cars, and it'll be paired with artwork, and we'll have food and stuff. So another free event that we sponsor.
Okay, great. Lots going on. Art, Jeremy, thank you guys so much. And yeah, first Friday tomorrow, if you have any plans, come here to the Phoenix Art Museum. Come check them out and take a look at this beautiful piece as well, tribute to Arizona.